Yeah, Philly! Hey! Now let me see you go out. Good Friday evening, everybody. Welcome into the Philly Friday Frenzy, your prelude to the Phillies post-game show, the Fighting's Final. That's right. We are going to talk your Phillies. We are going to talk about the Eagles. We are going to talk about whatever you want leading into the Phillies post-game right now. Phillies are up 6-4 over the Chicago White Sox. June is hit. The ball is, and it's hot out. It's warm out, and the ball's bopping out of the yard, and it's summer baseball, baby. But we'll talk about that. Good, bad. Does Adolis Garcia learn how to hit the ball? Because it's seemingly over at least 4-game hitting streak, 2 home runs in the last couple of games. I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but it is nice to see, because I, as many other people, had our keys ready, the tank filled. We were ready to drive his ass to the airport. Maybe not. Leave him that eighth hole. Let him hit 7, 8 hole. Let him hit if he feels more comfortable down there. And that's what works for him. And so be it. Right now, we got runners on first and third with 1 out. So let's see if JT can move this player over. Double play. That's a no bueno. Stay 6-4. Guys, but we also will be talking about A.J. Brown. He is no longer here. Thank God that did not go on any longer. I am tired of it. To be honest with you, just goddamn tired of it. I'm going to tell you about my thoughts on A.J. Brown and my feelings about the situation. And, you know, I've listened to a lot of people talk about it. I've listened to a lot of former players talk about it. Talked to a couple of former players that I've stayed friendly with over the years of doing this job. Got their point of view. I got other people's point of view, other sports analysts' point of view. But I got my point of view, and we're going to talk about that. And I want to hear your guys' point of view. And we're going to talk about all that tonight. Are you excited? Are you voting for the Phillies All-Star? Are you Christopher Sanchez? It came to an end a little early, but wow, what a run it was. Hopefully we get another run like that. Wouldn't be bad. Let's go another 49, 50 innings without letting up a run. That'd be awesome. What up, Big Al? Happy Friday night. Adam, it is a pleasure to see you. Buckle in. I will open up the lines for a little while tonight. I promised that last time. I will open up tonight. So, Adam, maybe I'll hear from you tonight. Rob, good evening as well. It'll be open for you as well. It doesn't have to be a camera. Just the audio is fine. You can ask me some questions, or you can just message them in, whatever's easiest for you. I would like to talk to you guys about it. So far, the Phillies so far, good Phillies White Sox game. Yeah, it's a good game. Very offensive heavy. Luzardo's not crisp tonight, but that ball is jumping out of here, man. It is absolutely jumping out of here. And they really put it to Kay, who was really dangerous against left-hand pitchers. And I think that is really a big telltale tonight, which is really important. Usually left-handed dominant pitchers, they drive us nuts as Phillies fans, as the Phillies players. Here's a guy who went 5 for 51 against left-handed pitching all season long. And then tonight, he had at least 5 hits given up by left-handed hitters. So right now, he's only 80 pitches through 5. If he has a good 6th inning, he might go 7. Luzardo, not great from the couple home runs he let up. Again, it's just one of those nights where the ball is jumping out of here. Wasn't the most crispest pitching performance from Jesus, but yes, Rob, thank you. I was going to say I was going to actually get ready to apologize about last week. It's funny because at work, my voice got so deep. It got deep like this, like because of all the scratchy and hoarseness I had, that I actually think some of the girls were excited about it. Like there was a Seinfeld or a Friends episode where somebody got sick and it made their voice real deep, and the girlfriend liked it. And then when it got better and the voice, it went away, or they had surgery and then it went away. And then like, I don't like them as much anymore because it went away. So yeah, they had, I thank you for checking in on me as well, Rob. I appreciate you. The cancer has left the Eagles, and the news leaker glad he is gone. Oh, no good. Luzardo maybe not going to go another inning. That's another solo shot given up tonight. It's 3 tonight. It's 6-5 right now, Phillies. Yeah, we'll talk about that a lot tonight. I'm really going to get into that because I really want to get my 2 cents out. Now that I've had time to, digest it and put my thoughts into it, and we'll get to it. Luzardo done. Well, maybe done. Is he done for the night? Are they doing a pitching change already? Listen, he's not done, if that's what you're saying, but I maybe he's done for the night. No, he's still pitching. He has some games. He has clunkers. He's not perfect. I'm glad the A.J. Brown drama's over. It's not over yet. We're going to talk about that. It is over-ish. It's not over yet. And I'll explain. I'll use the Nick Castellanos mathematical equation that I have to explain my feelings on that. But we'll touch on that. We'll touch on that for sure. Not again. Yes, not again. Thank you, Rob. As always, you are a good friend. So let's talk about AJ Brown, and let's talk about the drama's not over yet. Let's be completely honest with ourselves. All right, Phillies fans, we're like jilted girlfriends. We really are. We can get really nasty. We can take things really seriously, and we're going to be checking on him every time something happens. Everybody's going to be looking in on him. It took a while, I guess, for the Castellanos thing to die down after he got finally let go. We heard it through all spring training and even a little bit into the regular season because he was did a little okay leading into it. But then he went cold, and as we all know, he didn't even get to take a swing in Citizens Bank Park this year as a Padre. He was here for the first game, DFA'd before the beginning of the second game, but this isn't gone yet. People are going to be putting him under a microscope. He has a bad game, bad drop, doesn't really hustle anything out. We're not going to hear the end of it. So the drama's not over. It's the drama of, is he going, is he not going, that kind of thing. Like that, that's the big thing. That, to me, is the big thing right there. But it is over speculation. Is he going to go? Because they're saying, there's no definite reason that he's not gonna he's gonna go to the Patriots. This could loom for a few more weeks to the beginning of the season. I thought even possibility could happen, small possibility, but I was pretty sure a backroom handshake was done, and we all know it was. Adam saying Rossini, Vrabel, Brown, and Kraft all on a yacht and a massage parlor. Yeah, pretty much, right? And I'm going to touch on that a little bit. To be honest with you. Can we trade Luzardo? We're not. The first part, we just signed Luzardo to like a $30 million a year contract for 4 years. He ain't going anywhere, Star Wars. And it's not a great game. But you can't cut a guy after every bad game. I mean, he's still a damn good pitcher. I mean, I take him any day. But, we're just speaking. That's Philadelphian right there. Right? It's Philadelphian for... We are impatient. I get it. Star Wars. I get it. It is a little frustrating. You would hope put up 6 runs. I mean, from 18th to yesterday, or was it yesterday? Or the day before? No more than 4 runs scored or less. 4 runs scored or less in all games. So they finally got over that hump. Garcia's hitting again. Right now, in a small sample size, things are looking a little better. We'll talk about that. And this is what happens when pitching needs a backup for once. The pitching needs a backup for once, and the hitting's doing a good job. I mean, six innings through 6. I mean, 6 runs through 6. Can't really complain right now. Yeah, Marsh Winograd, that guy, I don't think he has let up much against lefties, let alone long balls. Or, righties. So Marshy's... Here's another guy we wanted to drive to the airport, right? Another guy we want to drive to the airport. I don't know if he's done. Listen, Garcia, some team's going to take a flyer on him. They're going to get like league minimum for him, or maybe not league minimum, but a couple $1 million contract, or maybe a $6 million 2 years, 6 million, 7 million deal, incentives. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Somebody will take him. Rockies will take him. Somebody will do something with him. But hopefully he got humbled at him. That's one thing from Nick Castellanos. Hopefully he's like, all right, maybe I was a bit of a douche. Maybe I should have been a little, not as much of a star-studded stud that I thought I was. But we're not talking about him right now. We're talking about A.J. Brown. Let's just start with this. A.J. Brown is a diva. Shock, right? No shock there, right? But this is the way I look at things. I like players. I do like to get attached to players. I would like to see players play here forever. But in the reality, things don't always work out that way. Correct? Am I wrong? No. All right. But once you put on that jersey, like take Brian Dawkins. Love Brian Dawkins. One of my favorite. Got a signed jersey. Got to meet the man a bunch of times. Interviewed him. One of my first interviews. One of the greatest human beings you'll ever get to meet. Right? One of the most motivational, inspirational. But once he didn't wear the Eagles jersey anymore, I'm not going to. I hope the best for him. But when you're playing the Birds, no. Tommy wouldn't be a great storyline. Eagles Patriots rubber match Super Bowl this year. Great storyline. But once you wear that jersey, that ain't midnight green, you're dead to me. See ya. Goodbye. Now, with that being said, is it a great loss from a talent standpoint, from an ability standpoint? Hell yes. And if anybody else tells you otherwise, no. Any of the people that we've picked up are not going to be A.J. Brown in a single shot. No, just unless they just go above and beyond. A.J. Brown is special, one of the top 5 wide receivers in the league, right? I don't think anybody's going to argue those facts. Matty B will still drive Marsh to the airport. Yeah, well, that's because he can't let a certain Logan O'Hoppe go. I think I'm going to make a special song for him. About Logan O'Hoppe and his man crush on Logan O'Hoppe. You know what I mean? But we'll talk about that later. But you have to admit we won that. I think we won that now. Now, yeah, listen. Well, we'd like to have a younger catcher at this point, yeah, but we don't know Logan O'Hoppe would be any much in our world. Probably a little better than Stubby. I mean, better than Stubbs, better than Marshawn, but how much better? We wouldn't have anybody out of left field. So, point being, back to where we're talking about. But he's a huge loss from a talent standpoint. Absolutely. A.J. Brown. Absolutely. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. You could be really angry with him. It could be like you're dating a 9.5. You guys are got a great relationship. And she comes to you out of the blue and says, I'm done. I found a new guy. I'm going to move on. It doesn't make her any uglier, right? Like, let's be honest. She's still pretty. She's really pretty. And you can say, she's not as pretty as she thinks she is. She can take all that makeup off. She's not as good. Now, she is. She is. Let's just call it for what it is, right? But there is a point where the talent and the annoyance starts to fall out. Now, let's talk about the rumors. The elephant in the room. He ain't even here yet, but I'm going to mention him. Elephant in the room. These rumors about Reddick and masseuse or banging his side piece or something. And AJ was mad because Jalen knew about it and he didn't say anything or he didn't do anything. Maybe that is why they grew apart. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's dumb. It's dumb as dumb can be. Just being honest. It is dumb as dumb can be. about that. If that's the reason, AJ said they just grew apart, and that can happen. Like call that for what it's worth. It can happen. Humans grow apart. Friends who are really good friends don't always end up being best of friends. The next, 10 years down the line, and sometimes they come back. And we've all done that. We've had friends that maybe we didn't see for 10 years. I'm talking to one today, my buddy Ryan Myers. There's a guy, I didn't dislike him or anything, but we grew apart. Different things, different life situations happen, whatever have you. But I sat there and talked to him today like none of that ever happened. Like there was no gaps in between our friendship. That can happen. Now, these guys work together. We heard about their godfather, their kid, all that stuff. We heard all that. But people grow apart. I think they grew apart because they're two different people. And sometimes that happens. The situation happens that way. People grow apart because, you got a loudmouth, outspoken, kind of dramatic person, very talented, but he's a little bit of me guy. Let's call it for what it's worth. Jalen isn't that me guy. He's a good soldier. He's a good coach's son, that whole 9 yards. And I think somebody just said, Jalen said he doesn't get involved in anyone's drama. And that's fine. Why should he get involved? Your side piece. You just got married and you're upset about your side piece? Get off, dude. Get lost on that. So that's his reasoning. That's a good reason to be gone. Like, in that range. Let's just move forward. Sometimes these relationships, no matter how good the person was for this team, this relationship's time to move on. That's just how I look at it. I think that Eagles wide receivers will be fine once they get in the season going and the new offense gels together. And that's the other thing. This wasn't going to work for him from that standpoint. No matter if Jalen reinvents himself and Sean Mannion comes in and reinvents Jalen becomes this prolific passer like we've ever seen before from him, and MVP style numbers. That's not the kind of offense that he runs. He spreads the ball out. That's why there's so many wide receivers. They spread the ball out. That's how they handle things. So what does that mean? AJ won't get his big stats he wants. He wants a 1,500 yards, this, that, and the other, 1,272 touchdown year, whatever. He's not going to get that here. He got his championship here. As soon as that happened, he was ready to go. He came here. He had his success. Boom, he gets to move on. Got his ring. Gets to go back to Vrabel. Grass is greener. I'm telling you right now. Watch it right now. The Patriots are going to have a little bit of a awakening. It's not going to be what last year was. We all know just because you got to the Super Bowl last year, there's no guarantee you're going back. Now, they're going to be a good team, don't get me wrong. They got a 1-2-3 punch in their wide receiver core. Booty, him. I mean, it's not bad. Don't get me wrong. But their schedule last year, in essence, was an absolute cakewalk. It was very favorable for them to win. They won some games, that kind of stuff. Oh, my God. What was that? Bowling? What in the hell was that? Sorry. Jeez. Overthrowing first baseman. I don't know what the hell he was trying to do. It wasn't even going to get him anyway. Bounced up real high. He threw the ball way offline to Harper. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. Stupid. And the cost of the game with that kind of stupid stuff. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I know. I think they're just grasping at straws with that one. He will go back down soon. It's going to be a lot harder for this team. They need to update their offensive line big time. They got some big pieces in defense. That's good for them. That was close. I thought that was going out. Brandon Marsh with another solid catch. Brown's ego is bigger than Hurts' ego. Oh, well, way bigger. Way bigger. It's like Bryce Harper's bank account compared to my bank account. Way bigger, right? Not even close. But the Patriots are gonna have they're gonna have a it's not gonna be easy, but between the media circus, this whole Vrabel Rossini thing's caused, there's gonna be a lot of things going on. I think the Patriots are gonna have a little bit of a harder time this year than they think they're going to. I'm not saying they're gonna be they're gonna fall backwards and win 6 games or anything like that. I'm not ridiculous. I still think they make the playoffs. With the Bills, they upgraded. It's gonna be a little bit more difficult from that standpoint. They're gonna be jockeying with the Bills a little bit more this year, I think. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. So I think that's going to see how he does when things get a little rough there in New England. See if he starts pouting and reading books on the sideline and cryptic tweets and saying stuff on people's gaming streams and whatever the hell else he did. Goodbye on that one. I'm done with that. I'm done with it. I'm over it. He's gone. I'm happy he's gone. I'm unhappy that his talent is gone. I'm happy his bullshit is gone. That's what I'm happy about. Good riddance. Still not saying we're a better team because of him offensively, but I also don't think we're that much worse off without him in some ways. I don't think we're taking this huge step backwards. I don't think we're taking 2 wins off the win total. Okay? It's going to be a struggle bus in the first few weeks of the season. 3, 4, 5 weeks. Say 4. I'm saying fair enough. We know the first 3 games are preseason games. Rust, new Sean Mannion. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. There's a lot of things to look at here. But A.J. Brown is a whiny little bitch. I'm going to call it for what it is. Sorry, bud. You know it's true. I know it's true. You're a whiner. You're a whiner. Not taken away from I'm not saying you're a crappy wide receiver or anything like that. But you're a you guy. You're an absolute you guy. It's absolutely you. And because of that, that will hurt you in the long run, I think. You've had a lot of success otherwise. Now, I know he came out and said, oh, well, you know, they were putting him the number 1 wide receiver spot. And he goes, no, I got to earn that. Like, I don't think he earned the captaincy on our team. I think they gave them to appease him more or less. Again, I don't know how he was in the locker room. I wasn't in the locker room. But he's a bitch. Like, personality-wise, he's a little baby back bitch. He is. He really is. Call it for what it is. If he wasn't a terrific wide receiver, nobody would care. If he was like a 2 guy or a 3 guy, but just get rid of him. Bye. Cut him. Not because he's really good. His talent gives him a break. Again, I'm over him. I hope you're over him. Are you over him? Does part of you think life without A.J. Brown will be impossible? I don't know. Oh, broken bat blooper, you son of a b. Oh, tied the game at. Listen, there's nothing you can do about that. That's nobody's fault. Right field broken bat blooper. There's nobody's fault on that one. Ball. You can't blame. Wait. Star Wars, don't be blaming Bolin on that. That thing broke. There's nothing you can do about that. Absolutely nothing you can do about that. He had numbers in the Super Bowl and still wasn't happy. Listen, man, that's the kind of guy he is. He is a me guy. He tries to pretend not to be. But he is. We all knew that. We knew that coming into the game. When we drafted him, or not drafted him, sorry. When they traded for him during the draft. But it got to worse as time went on. We all made excuses for it. He's not that bad or ever blown him. He is that guy. He is a wide receiver. He's not T.O. doing push-ups in the driveway. He's not A.B. crazy guy. But he's a me guy. Okay? He's got 4 initials. A.J.M.E. A.J. me. It's me. It's all about me. I'm A.J. Brown. It's about me. And if it's not about me, then it shouldn't be about anything else. If And maybe whatever it was it this side piece thing, or maybe just because Jalen wasn't the kind of quarterback he wanted. He wanted a gunslinger. He wanted a gunslinger. Fine, I get it. You want to do what's better for you? That's fine. Don't be a dick about it. Don't be an a-hole walking out the door about it. Don't be a whiny guy, cryptic things, and saying this stuff on social media, and then come back. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Everything's fine. Everything's normal. And they talked a little bit about mental health. I'm done with bowling, he said. I get it. And he struck somebody out. I'm not done with Bolin. I think Bolin's a much better pitcher than you give him credit for. But that broken back single, you really can't do anything about. Star Wars, you can't get on top of them. If the O-line stays healthy, the Eagles will be fine. The O-line stay healthy is it's a big part of it, Rob. We've talked about it. I've talked about it. You talked about it nauseum, right? Health of this O-line and life after Stoutland is going to be a thing. Life after Stoutland's going to be a thing. That's right. I stand with Stout. Still do. Life after Stoutland is going to be a thing. Bowling stings. Our bullpen sucks. Star Wars is melting down over here. Absolutely melting down. Yep, the three people AJ cared about is me, myself, and I. Right, Adam? Absolutely correct. You're not wrong on that one, buddy. Me. AJ Brown. That's who he is. He's a me guy. Doesn't take away from his talent. Unfortunately, talented people, especially when they're talented their whole life, a lot of them get egos. They're sitting there being told that they're best of the best. And he was, and still is, one of the best. Excuse me. Still a little phlegm. It's like body's trying to reject it. Other than that, I'm doing good. What loss is bigger? AJ Brown and Stout. Stout, absolutely. In my world, Stout. Stout, absolutely. You still have the Slim Reaper in my eyes. And I think he's ready. I think he's been ready to take it on. But like a good soldier boy, he stood behind there and he played the number 2 role. And he could have not got much passes at all in all games. And he didn't say, boo. I think you're going to see really a resurgence from him in some ways. Not that he was really off, but now that, maybe now that he gets kind of, maybe double teamed or he's going to be more focused upon, that might help. But with the offense that Manion's supposed to run, it, as long as Jalen can run it, we'll see. We'll absolutely see. So the Eagles to blame for enabling AJ's behavior, or do they share the blame and our complaint in this? Oh, so you're saying the Eagles? Listen, I know what you're trying to say, and anybody enables anybody is part of the blame, right? But I think it's kind of the devil they knew, right? They knew the devil that they were dealing with. They knew the devil's dance that they were about to get the tango with when they were trading for him. They absolutely knew what was going on, right? So I don't think at all that they probably had him under better control, and they got to see the worst part of him. And I mean, we saw Sirianni pushing back on him during the season for whatever reason, for not hustling out a play or whatever it was. I forget what the exact situation was. But just like the Phillies and Nick Castellanos, Dombrowski knew what he was dealing with. It's just a different scenario. AJ helped us win more than Castellanos did. Castellanos was helpful at times, but AJ helped us get over that hump. He's a big portion of that. So we can't take that away from him. Again, it's like the player's abilities versus the player's annoyance. It's like kind of like the hot to crazy ratio. Anybody ever see that YouTube, like from like years ago? It's like 15 years old, one of the original YouTube videos of the guy doing the hot to crazy ratio. Let's see if I can find it. I'm not going to play the thing. chart. I think yeah, let me see if I can find an image of it. Yeah, this guy. Here we go. Let me pull this up. Let me pull this up for you. This is how I'll explain it. Let me pull this guy up. For those who remember this old chestnut from the internet. And I'll put a link in there at one point. It's the hot crazy matrix, a man's guide to women. This dude, it's a funny video if you ever watch it. It's like 7-minute long video, right? And he draws this whole dude, the guy put thought into this thing. And he goes, there's a line, the bottom's the hot line, the left one is the crazy. So, a 0 hot and 0 crazy, and the fun zone is anywhere from a 5 to 8 because of, crazy at a 5. It's, it's no good if they're, a 4, but they're at a 7 crazy. But if they're an 8, you know what I mean? Like, this is my point, is like they knew what they were dealing with. They knew what they were dealing with. But I think it just got worse over time. And they're going to try to let things happen and clean up internally and all that stuff. But it just became too much. And the whole him and Jalen, and if there's any real behind the side piece thing and Reddick and whatever, I don't know. I didn't really get into it. I'd be honest with you. Because I don't know how true it is. It hasn't come out from any real sources, and we won't know until we know, right? Oh, well, I knew I would get a Homer answer. T.O. acted it out, and he was gone. AJ acts out, and we deal with it for 4 years. Yeah, but there was a difference. Here's my thing is, I don't think T.O. should have went. We didn't get rid of him. That was the Eagles organization doing that. I can tell you that they handled that wrong. They sided with their quarterback in that one. That was a quarterback versus wide receiver situation. This is wide receiver versus the rest of the team situation, where he's putting himself in front of the team. And I'm not sitting there saying that he should have got away with it. I think T.O. went from 0 to 60 fast. AJ's was more gradual. That's what I mean by like the difference there. Like, it's not a Homer answer, Matty B. And I know that everything you don't like or goes against the straight is a Homer answer. And yes, the bases are loaded for Bohm, which just doesn't sit well with me. Bohm's a doubles or 2 out or a double play machine. Yes, Matty B did check in, but I'm glad he did. And you know what? I'm putting the link up. I'll let Matty B. Not that I have to put a link up for Matt, but he knows how to come on here with or without the link. We've seen it. But I'm gonna put the call-in link for people, anybody, not just him, but you guys. It's coming up now, popping up there. We're not hearing anything about the Gizzard and other guys we signed that will play a big part in this offense. I'm sure. I'm not saying they're not. But the T.O. situation was handled wrong. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with you, Matt. I don't think he should have been let go. I think he should have got paid, and they drugged their feet, and they let him go. It was stupid. Absolutely stupid. I mean, the guy worked hard on a bad ankle, but he was a bit of a pain in the ass. I wasn't in favor of him going. But listen, if you run a team, coach a team, you're going to deal with a little bit of the diva-ness if the play's worth it. Again, take Nick Castellanos, for instance, right? Take Nick Castellanos, for instance. If he was a better player, we probably would have said put up with it a little bit more. We wouldn't all be ready to get rid of him. But because he sucked and he was a diva, we were ready to get rid of him. Right? Right? But talent. Watch, we won't get a run. I know, Star Wars. I feel the same way a little bit. I still get very cold with these bases loaded. And, woo, Sosa was about to swing at that. But the talent does make you put up with the BS a little longer. it just got to a point. It's one thing when you're tweeting. It's one thing when you're on social media. It's one thing when you're running your mouth. But when it starts affecting the locker room and then your play on the field and you're dragging ass on purpose because you don't want to be there, like Roger Dorn type shit, that's a different story, Matty B. That's a different story. Yeah, if T.O. would have stayed, we would have won a Super Bowl, probably. AJ's gradual spiral into team cancer, aisle 6, Big Al's excuse emporium. I don't think so. What do you just look for any reason to ignite the fire known as Big Al? Is that what it is, Matty B? You trolling? You trolling, buddy? Is it hard to believe? I mean, he's not T.O. He wasn't as extreme and up front, and he was T.O. wasn't as gradual. Like he just but they chose him, the quarterback, Donovan McNabb, over him. Probably a bad move. We didn't really start seeing things until like the book thing. We got past it. We saw but last year when he started dogging things, and you could see the team, like the way they were reacting to some of his stuff wasn't the same. You deal with some of the horse shit. When guys are that good, it's true facts. That's right, Rob 7-6. Another big man making a hike to the plate, man, making a catch or miss. Sir Anthony Dominguez is coming in for the Phillies. Yes, former Philly. Last time we saw Sir Anthony Dominguez, he helped us win a game. Was it last year? Was it last year or was it this year? I'm trying to remember. He came in and imploded, and we won. And turn around. Schwarber had some wheels on him on that one. But, yeah, again, let's talk about this. I've seen this tweet out there all the day long. We should not let anybody wear number 11 anymore because number 11 was Carson Wentz and number 11 was AJ. But then they had Tim Tebow, right? And they're all saying the best Eagle to wear the number 11 was Tim Tebow. They said number 11's cursed. If winning 2 Super Bowls is cursed, then curse me some more. Okay, same thing. Let's take somebody else who we didn't know right away who had the kind of ego that caused him to fall off the cliff here in Philly. Carson freaking Wentz, right? His ego, his mental instability came true after they won without him. And it came to be that he was voting against the Eagles to win. He was voting against the Eagles in the Super Bowl 2017, Super Bowl 52. And he was sitting there watching it with Darren Sproles because they were injured. And he said he could outwardly see that he was getting upset about it. And he called him out on him. And then when they won with it, it broke him. And he was never the same after that. And he hasn't been the same since. You know what? I don't agree with this one, Adam. I'll tell you why. I'm not just trying to be curmudgeon here. I'm doing my Matty B impression. But he did win us a Super Bowl, and he was great for about 4 games. He had some success 2018 too. Don't get me wrong. Very close to getting us back to the playoffs and Super Bowl and, NFC Championship game. Things could have been different. I don't know. When Alshon Jeffrey drop away, right? But I still don't think it should be retired. How many times are you going to retire a number? Just because we retire Kelsey's too. He was here. They're going to retire Lane Johnson's when he's done. You need numbers. You can start to run out of numbers. It get a little ridiculous. But right now, no. I don't think he should be retired. I really don't. I'm sure he should be allowed to never pay for a beer again in Philly. But retires number, I disagree with. I'll be honest. 3-1 pitch. All right. Dominguez is doing Dominguez type stuff. So let's see how he does. Sir Anthony. But thank you for your service, AJ Brown, because he did service us well. He did well for the first year. That would have been a walk right there. Whatever. First couple of years, he wasn't really a problem. We didn't hear about too much of this until later. But then after the Super Bowl, he got his ring and started kind of being a curmudgeon. And then last year didn't go his way. And when it went his way, it didn't help us to win, but he didn't seem upset about that. That's kind of thing where the straw and the camel's back and all that stuff came into play. Yeah, his was way more gradual. Just walked JT. Bases loaded for our best hitter right now. That's right. Brandon Marsh up with bases loaded against former Phillies pitcher Sir Anthony Dominguez. Phillies are up 7-6. As a reminder, I will go into the Fightins final as soon as this game goes final. Bottom of the 7th right now. Let's see if Brandon Marsh can add to this total and see if we can keep it going, because the ball is jumping out. We need a little bit more cushioning. You know, the ball's jumping out of the park right now. Call for what it's worth. Righty versus righty. I'm sorry, righty versus lefty. What am I talking about? But yeah, this isn't a sports emporium take, dude. And you know that. We won a goddamn Super Bowl with it. So yeah, it was well worth the headache if there was any headache for them to deal with. I think it was Phil Jackson, because I wasn't managing, players. I was managing companies, organizations, egos. Because that's what they were. They made more money than he did. And he's managing these egos. And that's why managers are important. You got to manage the ego with the player and the psyche of the player. And they managed it for a while. It came to a head. They appeased him, and it worked to a bit. They appeased Nick Castellanos in the Phillies organization. It did not play well. Oh, that could fail. Son of a B. That would have been a great infield hit. To be honest with you. Son of a B. I thought I was going to stay. But it played out in our favor. All right. And you got to give up a first-round pick for it. You're getting a first-round pick in 2028, not next year. Next year's a big draft. It's a very big draft. A lot of big names coming out of this draft. So they wanted to keep that one. So there's rumors saying that they thought A.J. Brown was worth a third-round pick. Bullshit on that one. Sorry. I get maybe because he's a headache. They know what they're dealing with. They know just because he wants to come in doesn't mean he's going to be happy there right away. If he's not getting his numbers, he can start crying. We all know that. Up. Sir Anthony comes in the clutch here. That's right. Wild pitch. Wild pitch from Sir Anthony. Makes it 8-6. Are the Birds better in 2026 without him? From a wide receiver standpoint or altogether? Let me ask you this question. Are you asking me if this is going to cost them a win-loss? Like, do I think they went from, 12 wins to 11 wins or 10 wins because of no A.J. Brown? Is that what you're asking me? Or overall, is this team better? And as of right now, the answer to me is no. Until what we can see from Sean Mannion. If Sean Mannion's offense is as good as it's allotted to be, if they can, if Jalen Hurts can run it, if Devontae Smith, who I feel can step into the wide receiver one role, but to sit there and say you're better when you have a 1-2 punch of A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and you drop down to Devontae Smith to Wicks or Hollywood Brown or whoever else they decide to bring in. No. But again, Sean Mannion's offense is based on spreading the ball around. So again, I would say no, but I don't think they're worse for it. They're just not better. Does that make sense? And if he was causing problems in the locker room, then definitely they're better for it that way. Better for morale, better to move on past him. I'm going on a limb here. Eagles 13-4. I don't think it's a crazy limb. I know Matty B's got him winning like 8 games at most. I forget what he said. No, I'm going with the 12-win team. 11, 12 wins, depending on beginning of the season start for them. Because if they drop a couple in the beginning because they're just not gelling yet. But got to give it time, in my eyes. Because we all know how football is different for the first few weeks of the season. But now you got a new system. Is Jalen going to be able to run it? Is the offensive line going to stay healthy? There's a lot of ifs for these Eagles coming into this season. But if the O-line is healthy, the offense can click and gel. Its defense, in my eyes, is looking really good. So let's stop talking about AJ like a teenage girl scoring and start talking about him as a team will be without him. Hey, we gotta go through levels here, brother. We're working through the emotions. We're working through the emotions here. Still kind of fresh. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But will this team will be without him? Not as much as you think they're going to be a drop off from them. This is it. It's going to be a learning curve. But I don't think it's going to be a drop off as much as you put it out to be. What do you think this team's going to be? 10, 8, 9, 8, 7? Like what are the wins in your eyes? 11 plus wins is an absolute homer take for this team. Is it really? Is it really? There were 11 wins last year. With how sluggish this offensive line was and injured, how sluggish this offense was, how inept our offensive coordinator was, and they had one game where there was a play where they turned the ball over twice. And they almost still won that game. I think there was like 5 turnovers in that game. They almost still won that game. Is it a stretch of the imagination that they would be as good as last year? Because I think the offense is going to be improved overall from last year. Might take some time in the beginning, but if what Sean Mannion's selling can come true, and it helps Jalen, take his next step. And I think Jalen learned a little something about himself too, with the way that season ended, with that last play call. So we'll see if he grows from it too. But 11 wins is not a crazy take. So 12, not a crazy take. I mean, does Dallas and Washington and New York take steps forward? I think New York has to take a step forward. 4-13. I mean, I'm sorry, not much less you can do than that. Commanders were 5-12. I think they're better than that. At least a few games better than that. Cowboys were 7-9 last year. I think they could be 9-7 this year. Oh my God, they're doing the wave at the Phillies game. Come on, man. Am I the only person who hates the wave? Why, Keller? Because he's in our bullpen right now. What can I tell you? You don't call him Cardiac Keller for nothing, Star Wars. Eagles will be fine without A.J. Brown. Eagles will need to learn to live without A.J. Brown. Again, I'm going to go back to the breakup scenario here. You're in a relationship with somebody you really cared about, was the love of your life, everything you did devoted to them, around them. If they get up and just leave you or, kind of go out, leaving you like, wow, what happened? What do we do? We've been good to you. It's going to hurt. It's going to take some time to adjust. But in the long run, will you be fine? Sure. Plenty of fish in the sea type scenario. But there's going to be a learning curve. Life without him. Will there be more under center plays with Mannion and less shotgun plays? I think so. I mean, that's what he calls for, but let's see. Can Jalen do it? We helping the White Sox. Well, we're not making it easy on them, but they're not making it easy on themselves either. Did he hit the ball? The ball hit the runner? What the hell happened there? Oh, there was that Harper. I'm sorry. Kind of caught that out of the corner of my eye. I thought Harper just said, my bad. Yeah, he tried to catch it and didn't. Okay, I thought it hit the runner the way it was lined up with the runner. Is going undefeated a homer take two? I think going undefeated is really difficult this day and age. So I think you could fall into the homer takes on that one, Adam. I believe you can. Those late turnovers and blocked field goals that went their way isn't exactly a formula for consistent success. I believe it was 6 games that bounced the Birds' way. Again, do you believe the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be overall better, less mistakes, better offense? Maybe not without A.J. Brown, but do you think the O-line will be healthier? I think the defense is going to be better, and they were good. Some things did bounce their way, and that's going to happen. I mean, take the Washington Commanders in 2024. Got to the NFC Championship game, right? The ball had to bounce their way a lot to get there. Then they got to Philly in the NFC Championship game. Good old Fred in reality slapped them, kicked them right in the old gonads, if you know what I mean. So things did bounce their way. But they are a good team. They double that? Was that a double? Yeah, they doubled up. Got the guy. Hey, Keller made a good play there. Where you at, Star Wars? Where you at? He caught the ball in the midair there and he was able to turn around and get the runner at second. Wow, dude, that was a hell of a catch. He almost botched the throw, but Turner held on to that one. That ball was heading right to his face. He put the glove right in his face like this. Hell of a catch. That was huge defensively right there. He was able to turn around and gun it, get the guy out at second, doubled up. So he got the lead runner, double play, 2 outs, guy on first. So worst case scenario is tying the game right here. I'm not disagreeing that things didn't bounce their way, though. That didn't get better, at least on paper. So predict 12 to 13 wins for all 11-win teams is a ridiculous homer propaganda. It's not with the propaganda bullshit. Somebody's got to burn your soapbox, brother, and throw the ashes into the ocean, throw the ashes into a safe, dip the safe in concrete, and drop it to the deepest part of the goddamn ocean, brother, because it's not propaganda. This team is not. You're telling me this team is a playoff contender, right? Still the best team in the NFC East. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Anybody else want to deny that? Do you think that there's a better team in the NFC East right now, Matty B? I want to hear you say it to me. I want to hear you say it to me. Because right there puts you in the playoffs, right? That doesn't mean it's going to be 11 wins, 12 wins, whatever. But I think 11 to 12 wins definitely wins you. 12 wins wins you this division. And right now in the NFC North, I don't think the Bears are a much better team. They lost some. They didn't get anything back. Green Bay, they signed some of their guys. I think they'll be a decent team. The Vikings, the Lions need a little bit of bounce back, and I think they can this year. I don't think anybody in the South that scares me. I'm going to hear the Panthers are so much better. Like that division was tied 8-9 to 3 of the teams. Seahawks, see how they do with their team getting picked apart, how they bounce back from year 2 to Seahawks. But they're still a good team. Rams are a damn good team. Niners, I think, are a better team this year. That's because the NFC West is going to be a tough division. Cardinals are just sitting around, what the hell are we going to do? Get tired of Harp trying to field balls that Stott can easily get. Yeah, I mean, I get you. Yeah, really? Dude, that was a hell of a play. I'm going to try to see if I can pull that one. I'm just always afraid of for all that shit talking Star Wars is talking about Keller. At least right now he owes him a little something. I would have shit. Dude, I did shit my pants and I watched it on TV, Nooms. Thank God you can't smell through the screen. I'm telling you right now. That was huge. It was absolutely huge. Eagles will win the NFC East. I believe so. Can we win the division with 11 wins? We can win. I think so. 11, 12 wins this division, I think. I really do. I think Dallas will be a little better. So 12 might be what you need. So expectation level is division. What Super Bowl? Tell me what are the best teams in the NFL entering the season. All right, so let's just in the NFC, top 5 NFC teams. Let's go with top 5 NFC teams in no particular order at this moment. I'll rearrange them in order, but I'd say Eagles are top 5, Seahawks, Rams. Seahawks, Rams. I think the Niners are going to probably fall into one of those, to be honest with you. And one team from the NFC North, maybe the Lions. If the Lions have a bounce back year, I think the Bears take a step backwards. I think the Lions take forward. So I think Lions will be number 5. That's where I'm at with that one. Top 5. Can they contend? Well, the Rams got a lot better. I mean, that whole trade with Cleveland was huge. Matt Stafford, if he stays healthy, is a damn good quarterback. He's defying father time, very much so. Great offensive weapons. I think the Rams are they're pushing their chips in, brother. They're pushing their chips in. So if I'm like power ranking teams right now, top 5, I will put the Seahawks because they're Super Bowl champions. But I'll be honest with you, I go with my heart right now. I'm gonna go Rams, Seahawks, Eagles, Niners, Lions, Niners. That last 2 could probably go either way. That's where I'm going. So if you're telling me I'm putting you in top 3 in the NFC, Super Bowl bound. Very plausible. It's very plausible. I'm not sitting there. I'm just saying, to win the division, you're going to need 11, 12 wins. So tell me then so you're changing your tune now. You're changing your tune. Because I said 11, 12 wins. You're saying it's ridiculous. And I proved that they would win the division, which I'm going to think is going to be 11 or 12 wins. We're not the NFC South. Now, in the AFC, top teams, I'm going to say the Bills, the Pats are up there, especially not getting the Broncos. Always sleep on them. I think the Chargers got a little better, but I'm not ready to put them up there yet because the Chiefs. If Patrick Mahomes is back, you're going to have to put the Chiefs up there because I don't think they're going to fall off again and have a 6-win season after if Mahomes is back. So Chiefs, Broncos, Bills, Patriots, and then maybe the Ravens, Chargers, Ravens. Because again, I'm not. Everybody anoints the Chargers. Like every year, we anoint the Chargers. Like I'm not ready to anoint them. That's my point. So So with recency bias, the Niners, who beat the Eagles in the playoffs, are not as good as the Eagles. Now, I mean, listen, they played a bad Eagles team and made bad decisions. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that at all. And they were close to winning that game if somebody didn't drop a damn ball. That whole last play call wouldn't have been necessary. For all intents and purposes, the Niners should have destroyed us, and they still didn't. So, yeah, it's not recency bias. Look at that game in a nutshell. Matty B sounds like a closet Eagles fan. He's a closet Eagles fan. He's a closet anything but Eagles. I don't know. He loves the Eagles more, or hates homers more, and it's hard for him to pick which one he wants to put his energy into. Stott is in the game. Yes, absolutely. Stott is in the game. He is batting right now. We're at the bottom of the 8th. So the worst case scenario is you're going to go into the top of the 9th with bare minimum 2-run leads, 8-6 Phillies. We will get ready. I'm guessing nobody wants to jump on and chit chat, and that's fine. Comments are fine. I'm having a great time chatting with you. Oh, that was a good play. He leaped up for that one. Woo. That was a good play. Stott was almost about 5 feet away from a home run and about foot and a half away from at least bouncing that ball off the top of the wall. Keaton Anthony, get him up here by August 1st. So right now, just so you guys know, the Phillies and the Chicago White Sox Phillies are winning 8-6. Both 33-29 coming into this game. So one of these two teams are going to, not going to be tied by record wise by the end of this game. So we'll find out. Phillies are on a 3-game winning streak right now. Swept the Padres season series, which it just seems like we get their goat, man. We really do. We really do. We'll talk a little bit more about the Phillies when this game goes. And I've got a couple more Phillies topics I want to talk about, so we're not just going to talk about the game a little bit. I might let this roll on a little longer than I would typically roll on, maybe more than 30 minutes. Because I might want to keep the Broad Street bottom line to more a little conversational piece, so stick around for that. But with the Eagles, Eagles signed an undrafted defensive tackle, Zion Wilson. Clear space. They waived wide receiver Brandon Hayes. Well, they only have 47 wide receivers. Wow, that was another good play. Some good defensive play from the outfield from the White Sox to keep this game at a 2-run game. Wow, the Phillies scored more than 4 runs in 2 games. Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, small sample size, but that ball bounced. They challenging that? That ball did bounce. Hold on. They're showing it on slow-mo. I don't know. That ball hit the turf. It bounced into the glove. I mean, inches difference. They're challenging it. Yep, their manager's challenging it. Just so you guys know, they're challenging it. So this inning may not just be over just yet. When is the last 3 single game? 3 single game by Schwarbs, right? You got a 3 single game by Schwarbs. You got Garcia having 2 home runs in the game. Scoring 6 runs in less than 6 innings for your Fighting Phils. They're up to 8 runs in the game. I mean, just the June does something to this team. I don't know what it is, but hey, if Garcia can start hitting and keep him in that 7-8 hole spot, I'm okay with it. That could be the best thing that happened to us. I don't know, but we'll find out. No, I just ain't sipping from the trough of Howie's green elixir. Dude, you got to stop. Like, nothing I said is homer. Everything I said was fairly analytical based on how good the teams are, their players, the moves they made in the draft, based on all the goddamn data I have in front of me right now. Like, what more data could I give you, out of just like, well, this team's not as good as we think they are, and it's going to show. This team wasn't that great last year and got 11 wins. Right? Yes, the ball bounced their way a little bit. Absolutely. I think they're going to be better than they were last year, even without A.J. Brown. Because at times we didn't have A.J. Brown. Make that 4 singles, right? 4 singles. God, I love it. You got 4 singles from him, which is great. Whatever. Team's starting to hit a little better. They're not just, solely relying on the pitching. Again, small sample size. When they play the Padres, I kind of don't get excited about it, to be honest with you, because they just seem to get their go. Like, it's like us playing San Fran in San Fran. It's left up there. Turner left that one up there. Sorry. Yep. 4. Phillies won the challenge. Yes. But nothing I said was homer. And I will push you back on that. You tell me. I gave you analytical reasons to believe why this team could be better than they were last year, right? I don't think anything I said was crazy or outlandish. I told you the top teams, I believe top 5 teams in the AFC, NFC. I put the Eagles around 3, maybe 4, depending on how well the Niners are. If you really want to fight me on that one. So, I mean, top 3, 4 teams in the NFC can't be a Super Bowl contender because I think they are a goddamn Super Bowl contender. Sorry, they are. Now, it would be how this offense works out. and how healthy the O-line is. I'm telling you, Stoutland's going to be the make or break reason of this team. That's what's going to happen. How about based on another offensive system, a lesser town in the wide receiver room? What that's reality. You can't predict the team will get better because of that. I think I've already talked about this, but I'll say it again. There's going to be a change in the offense. 100% is true. I'm seeing your other messages, man. I don't know who's got who's goat more, you or I. I don't know. But I believe this offense can be better. I think Sean Mannion will bring something that this team has not had in a while. Can it flourish is a different story. Can Jalen Hurts handle it? That's a different story. Can the offensive line stay healthy? That's a different story. Yes, the wide receiver core took a step backwards, but with the way Mannion plays his game, and tell me that wasn't maybe a reason they thought it was a good, to bring him in. They need somebody who's going to spread it out more. So, yeah, I can predict the team can be better because of that. And I think the defense will be better, and they were pretty damn good considering last year. Matty B over the moon. Short. I mean, he is hitting like a leadoff hitter should. 4 singles in the game for once, right? Phillies are going to go to the top of the 9th. Absolutely. All of what you said is homer. All of what you said is bullshit, brah. Nothing I said is homer. Nothing I said is homer. Mine was very analytical, based on data, based on watching these teams make moves in the offseason. Nothing. Sox, no. Duran. This is not a guarantee tonight. Nope, you're absolutely right. They have seen him plenty. Super Bowl contender with complete question marks all over the offensive side of the ball. What team doesn't have question marks on the offensive or defensive side of the ball? And you told me defense wins games, right? Tell me they didn't have a better defense. 2022, we have a Super Bowl. You told me we won in 2024 because of our defense. Offense they had a field day because they just couldn't do anything with it. It wasn't Jalen Hurts. Yeah, it's the defense. It's a homer. That's homer. IDB loves the homer. He does. Station marks, question marks. All these teams have question marks. It's June 5th, and one team doesn't have question marks. I think New England has question marks. Boom. Strike up. There you go. Number 1, Duran. Looking good, man. Seems very settled in. What's he going for, 15 and 15 right now? I say the whole offensive scheme is a question mark, if that's what you're trying to say. And yes, absolutely. But new coordinators come in all the time and teams have success. We won one Super Bowl with 1 year under a guy with a whole new system. Shane Steichen had 2 years, but about a year and a half. So fine. But I'm not sitting there, you can't sit there and say they're not going to win because of it. Yes, but they still have a wide receiver 1 who isn't like a wide receiver 1 because the guy left. We've had 2 wide receiver 1s. This one was more of a diva than the other. They got a lot of other good wide receivers that they didn't have before. So there's that. Tight end, they still got Dallas Goedert. I wonder if Johnny Wilson becomes a tight end some way. Stowers, he's a draft pick, so we'll figure out what's going to happen with him. Ooh, did they challenge that? Yep, they didn't. That was close. Saquon, I think, can only be better this year than he was last year. The offensive line is your biggest difference and will be make or break for this offense. It will. It will make or break this offense. So, yeah, there is question marks, but you show me a team that doesn't have a question mark. Hey, the Rams could be a great team if Stafford stays healthy. Father Time wins that a lot of time. So we didn't think we were going to get this offensive stud Rams the last year or so until he stayed healthy and got healthy. So just, there's a lot of question marks, a lot of teams. Is Patrick Mahomes going to be healthy enough to play this season for the Chiefs? Is Bo Nix going to be good to go? Is the offense going to make improvements there in Denver? I mean, these are all good teams that have question marks, brother. That's what makes sports. Is the goddamn question marks, right? Nothing's a guarantee. Yeah, if you're coming in here just to play music, you can back your ass right out, brother. If you're coming here just to play music, you can back your ass right out. Because I see you down there. I see Matty B in the green room. He's pulling up the music. You'll put your ass on that screen if you're going to break my stones. Do it like a man. Do it like a man. There we go.
Let's go. Let's talk. You want to talk? I'll talk.
Yes. Hey, you better make it quick. We got one more out left.
Yeah, I don't want to jump into your final.
You can if you want to. I don't care.
No, I don't want to do that.
For those who don't know, we actually do like each other. Believe it or not, we do like each other.
So listen, I am going to push back on everything you talked about tonight with the Eagles. Is a 100% complete, absolute homer take. I don't know how, Al, honestly, you're going to sit here and tell me that not only are the Eagles going to learn a new offensive system, but it's gone so much to a point now where they brought Sean Mannion in, who's brought his own people in, who's brought his own players in, that's shaping the offense to his own system. You got a quarterback that has never proven that he can play that type of football ever. And you're going to tell me everything is, it's okay. We're just another new offensive coordinator. Everything is fine. No, man, this is going to be a complete philosophical shift for this team. Will they succeed? Yeah, time will tell. I don't know. But to get here in June and tell me, no, hang on. And to get here in June and tell me, 13 wins, 12 wins. Come on. What tells you that, man? This team is in complete rebuild mode.
I never said 13 wins. I said 11 to 12 wins, yes. Back up the truck. Man. Back up the truck.
Okay. So offensive line, another year older. No upgrades on the offensive line. No upgrades on the offensive line.
Is the biggest bugaboo for me this year going.
No upgrades on the offensive line. We're going another year with the same group and a year older.
I don't know about that yet. I'm not sitting there saying that's done yet. I have some thoughts and buzzing in my ear that the offensive line isn't done yet. But just we'll leave that at that right now.
Okay.
We've talked about. We know that. They did release Brandon Graham post June 1st type thing, but we all know that there's speculation that we've talked about, but that he'll be back. Well, we have our sources that you and I have, and we've talked about that.
Yeah.
So I don't think Howie's done yet, to be honest with you, and I wouldn't be surprised if offensive line is one of the things that they bring in. Right now, they've had some early success in the OTAs with their new guy Bell and all that. Again, time will tell, because my biggest thing is the coordinator. If this was some of the young guys they brought in, some of the stuff, if it was Stoutland, I think they could be better. If they're healthier and they can get some guys, backing up these guys who are older, they would be better than they were last year for sure. Would they be as good as they were the year before or 2 years before that? Different story. We'll find out.
Okay. Wide receiver room is significantly different. I don't know if it's worse. It's different. All right. There's that safety net's not there for Hurts. And that's, I think, the biggest part. He doesn't have that guy down the field that he can go to when he needs to, regardless of whether or not he was going to catch the ball.
A little bit. I think people sleep on Devontae Smith a little bit on that situation.
I said the safety net. Devontae Smith's a route runner. Devontae Smith is a route runner, not a safety net.
Well, you also don't forget they brought in they have like 27 wide receivers right now.
They're all route runners, except for Hollywood Brown. But does he have the down the field ability that he once had? No.
Well, that's a good question to have. But listen. The Mannion's offense is based on a lot of route running and stuff.
On route running, yes.
Yeah,
and timing, yes.
Timing. So if they can, guys who are route runners, that's why you brought these guys in, because they are route runners. And I think that's one of the reasons A.J. Brown was quote unquote expendable to them. I mean, part of it's the bullshit that he brought in. Don't get me wrong.
A lot of that, yeah.
But I think a lot of it is, we knew he wouldn't be happy with Sean Mannion. We all know he would have been happy with the Sean Mannion offense. And I think they liked the Sean Mannion offense. Whatever Sean Mannion brought to that conversation when they were hiring him, they liked.
So do you think, and again, listen, could they work it out and win 13 games, 14 games, 15 games? whatever.
Maybe I'm going to go crazy. I think they're going to win 18 games. They're going to somehow be so good. So good. I'm telling you, it's really the schedule that plays against them a little bit, to be honest with you. There's some parts of the schedule
are brutal. A lot of games and a lot of time, not much downtime.
That London game's brutal.
Yeah.
They don't.
Brutal game. You all right, Mike?
I'm getting rid of that last bit of phlegm from this cold, this whatever shit I had.
But listen, no. Hey, real quick. Again, you see, you people take this, and I'm not you, but them people take this take completely out of context. I wish them ultimate success. That's the problem. They're not putting themselves in position to be successful. They're not. They're pulling the wool over your eyes. This team is not going to win a Super Bowl this year. I'll throw money down on that right now. They're not winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but you have to understand, it's easier to say you're not going to win a Super Bowl than you are going to win a Super Bowl because you're one of 30 teams.
Yeah, no, that's a philosophical homer bunch of nonsense. You know what I mean, all right? You know what I mean.
Odds to winning the Super Bowl because
you know what I mean. As an Eagles fan, we all go into every season thinking we're going to win a Super Bowl, right? Everybody, I've done it my entire life. I have.
Spring,
right? Every year you do it.
I know that.
And over recent times, this team has proven their ability to do it.
Being a top 5 team in the NFC doesn't give you a fighting chance to be in the Super
Bowl. I don't
Bowl.
think they're top 5 in the NFC at all. I think they're on the bottom side of that. They're top 10.
So 6 or closer to 10.
Yeah, 6, 7 in there.
Don't say that. There's too many kids around. You gonna join me for the post-game show?
No, I'm gonna jump off. I got things to do. I just wanted to come in and defend my honor here.
Hello, and congratulations to your kids on the graduation.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun experience.
You know, my wife's kind of going through it a little bit right now because our one son graduated college. Our other son's about to become a senior in high school, and then my youngest son is going into middle school, and so I think it's scaring her that we're no more middle school kids. It's like we'll no longer have a middle school kid. We'll not, or no more have an elementary school kid. It's now middle school or less. You know, it's starting to.
No, I know. I'm a parent of 2 kids that are out of school.
A little choked up, a little bit, that kind of stuff. But
I'm a parent of 2 daughters who are now, or 3 daughters who are now out of school, and then I have my step kids. One's going to be a senior next year, and the other one's going to be a junior or sophomore. So it's those.
Oh, where'd he go?
Left. Where am I at? Am I here?
I just switched over just to get the graphics ready, and it popped you off. That was weird. I didn't know it did that. There's something to know.
But anyway, listen, I just wanted to come on and defend, because this is what I'm defending myself against, this nonsense right here. Robert has absolutely no facts to back any of this up other than his feelings as an Eagle fan. And this is the problem. This is what we do as a fan base.
The facts I filled out.
But you did the facts. There's nothing there. Those facts are pointless.
There. Tell me I'm wrong. What did I say that was wrong? Tell me what
did you say that was any valid? What was the validity of what you said in terms of how did they get better in the offseason? Tell me.
Offensively or just
how? Give me the points of how they got better. What made this team better in the offseason?
Make it better. I think that the offense they did lose one of the best. Their best offensive weapon by far. I'm not going to even say that.
Yes, he's gone.
I think a year now, a little bit healthier O-line, hopefully. There's a big hope.
And older,
but I think healthier. That's a big difference. I'll take healthy and older over a year younger.
We don't know if they're healthier because they haven't started hitting yet, but okay.
All things are pointing that way right now. Again, I'm taking everything that we have, pointing that way. So I think that's a big difference for me right there. It's really is. I think Jalen Hurts is my biggest question mark going into the season. Can he's saying all the right stuff.
I said, how are they better? Not question marks. I want to know how they are better.
I think offensively, their scheming is going to be 10 times better. For how vanilla they were last year, I think it's going to be 10 times better.
Okay. How? What do you see that makes you think, God damn it, Jalen's going to thrive in this?
I think they're going to be able to scheme it correctly for Jalen, help Jalen grow as a quarterback, which is only going to be plus for us. I think Sean Mannion has probably as good as an idea as any other, or better than any other offensive coordinator for Jalen Hurts to date. And we won a Super Bowl with one of those guys.
And what based on Sean Mannion's massive offensive play calling resume that tells you that?
His scheme.
What about Sean Mannion as the unknown here too?
Sean Mannion is an unknown. And
so again, how are they better? What's the concrete evidence? Not what they could be. What right now in June tells you they are better? Nothing. Not a thing. Not a thing.
What in June tells you that they are worse than last year?
Worse? Okay.
Hold on.
That I just made.
Unknowing Sean Mannion. Do you still?
But that's all part of this, though.
Hold on. Do you still think he's an improvement over Kevin Petullo?
How the hell do I know?
I think we all know he is.
No, we don't. And how much of the offensive problems was Kevin Petullo versus what Jalen Hurts brought to the table? How much was it the lack of execution? You guys have been bashing A.J. Brown for dinosaur arming balls all the time. Okay, that's lack of execution, right? That's not play calling. And whose play was that at the end of the season? All the reports now say that was Jalen Hurts' play, that triple coverage vertical thing. Again, will he be better? Probably, but I don't know. And nobody does. But you guys, you friggin' homers, put everything, that's going to be better because it's different. No, that's not necessarily true. It's not necessarily true. In June, nothing tells you they're better. Nothing.
So
nothing.
Here's this question. Does that mean that no team is better in June than they were last year, unless somebody like except for like the Chiefs, because Patrick Mahomes is healthier than he was at the end of the year last year?
Well, Myles Garrett sure as hell seems better in Rams than the Rams were yesterday. Yes, certain things do tell you that.
But the Rams chips have been pushed in.
Yes, and again, I say in June, September, October, November, December is what counts, right? That's what counts, and that's we're going to make our final.
All right, let me rephrase this. Then maybe if I say I think they've made the right steps to be better than last year, and they won 11 games last year, makes me feel that they will be a 11 to 12.
But those right steps would have to be based on something known that's right, and we don't have that yet. We don't have Sean Mannion. We don't know what he is.
Matt Stafford could blow out his back today, whatever, and not be able to play, and the Rams suck again. I don't know.
Well, they drafted his replacement already this year, remember?
Oh, my God, yeah. The Simpson.
Yeah,
oh, man.
So,
they
I'm
were
saying,
pissed about that.
But again, I hear what you're saying. But do you understand that my point? The blanket statement of a 13-win team. Woo-hoo, yeah, it's ridiculous, man. We don't know that.
When you listen, I always told you I hate making predictions. I hate predictions. The worst things in the world, because anybody can do sports predictions at this point, because it's like being a weatherman. You can be right. Maybe you can be wrong. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you said. It matters how they played. I base my prediction on a few years
on homer loyalty.
No,
say it loud and proud, Al. Say it. Say it loud and proud.
This year, moves made, It's the only thing we can base anything on. The only thing we can base anything on. And do we think that they could, can they learn the Sean Mannion offense? Will the Sean Mannion offense make them a better team? The style of offense he's supposedly running, and the players that they brought in to run it, I think will be beneficial for Jalen Hurts. Allow this team to make quicker decisions, getting the ball out of his hands and having more weapons for him to hit, where guys are not worried about getting their yards and their touchdowns. I think that plays a big factor in being, and if they can do that last year with having a game where they have 5 turnovers and still somehow close to winning that game, and all those factors, and being an 11-6 team makes me feel comfortable with that 11-12 win prediction. I always said I got balls, but they ain't crystal, brother.
So they couldn't learn Kevin Petullo's offense. They couldn't learn Kellen Moore's. They couldn't learn Kellen Moore's offense because they had to change. He had to change his offense because the quarterback couldn't deliver it. They had to change the offense to a run-heavy offense. All right.
I believe they delivered very well with that Kellen Moore offense.
Okay, but no, we really don't know what Kellen Moore's offense was for the Eagles. They had to change it.
Here's the difference.
Do you agree or disagree?
Agree or disagree? Hold on, I'm trying to hear what you're saying. Are they saying that the Eagles last year changed it, or that Kellen Moore changed it?
In 24, when the first 4 games where they were 2-2 and they were struggling with the passing game, because that was predicated on Kellen Moore. I believe Kellen Moore also ran timing type passing routes, and that was his offense. They were 2-2. They decided, you know what, we got Saquon Barkley. Let's start using him. And he ended up rushing and accumulating over 2,500 all-purpose yards.
Because they knew what they had, and even the offensive line. Line went to Kellen Moore and said, stop trying to do what you're doing. Do this more. It's working. And that's what they did.
Okay. You say tomato, I say tomato. Okay, and you know what I'm getting at. And
the fact's not true that the offensive line went to Kellen Moore and said, this works.
But what was the exact? Did they maybe say the quarterback ain't doing it? We need to run the ball more. Perhaps they might have said that too.
Hey, were you in the room?
Exactly. I was not in the room.
But
they changed it for whatever reason. They changed
it. They saw they had something in Saquon, and they had to go to their offensive coordinator. Even Kellen Moore had to learn, and it will open up the pass, and it did greatly. And actually, the biggest win, the Super Bowl, might I remind you. Saquon was kind of a zero factor, not a zero.
Okay, don't get me started on that. The defense is the reason why the Eagles won the Super Bowl. All right, that's
I did throw that out there, and
that's 100%. I'll take that to the bank. But they couldn't learn Kellen Moore's offense. They couldn't learn Kevin Patullo's offense. I don't know what the hell Sean Desai's or Brian Johnson's offense was that they needed to learn. They apparently knew Shane Steichen's offense. But here we go. So we're 1 for 4 on learning offenses.
Do you think their defense is better? It was.
I think it's the same. It's the same.
I think they made,
which is a pretty good unit, but it crumbled down the stretch. They got tired down the stretch.
Well, because they were too reliant on them. The offense needs to do a little bit more to give them a break.
But I don't think they got better. No, I think they're the same.
I think they made some small improvements, especially in the safety area. They're not just
Marcus Epps.
Huh?
Marcus Epps.
Ruben Epps is better than what they had just last year.
Who?
They have Quinion, but it's not just him on by himself.
What's
his face? They brought in.
I know what you're talking about.
I think he's a big improvement too, because I'm just completely shitting the bed on his name right now.
But I know we got. The guy for the free agent they brought.
That secondary, the guy from the Seahawks. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Woolen.
Yeah. So Woolen's another big one. I think is a big difference for them.
Who Seattle didn't want back because he lost his job to Jake Jobe. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So okay. Or Josh Jobe, whatever his name is.
Josh Jobe, and I think
you don't like the truth bombs. You don't want to live in a Homerland anymore. I mean, this is my network, Robert. I'll stay where I want. Honestly, I hate to be that way.
I'll laugh out loud. Relax, Matt.
But listen, Woolen, you could be. Where else did they get better on the defense?
Where else?
Yeah.
I mean, a defensive line, I think they've gotten better. They got some good pieces there that are only going to get better in my eyes.
Who?
Huh?
Who?
Well, everybody's going to get better. I just said the whole line is going to get better. I think you're going to get guys who are going to take steps forward. Jordan Davis, I think we saw a much better Jordan Davis last year. And I think he's only going to get better. Jalen Carter, I think, is going to. This is going to be a contract year, so I think you're going to see a lot better from Jalen Carter.
Why didn't they already re-sign Jalen Carter?
Huh?
Why didn't they already re-sign him?
Because they weren't ready to sign him at this. But first, it's going to cost him a lot of money.
You don't think it's going to cost him a lot of money if you wait another year or two?
And I think they weren't ready because they want to see what he's going to be. I think there's some of the health issues, but I think some of the immaturity issues, which they saw from Jordan Davis, who made a complete 180, and they signed him for a nice chunk of money.
Well, plus, Jordan Davis didn't have maturity issues; he had health issues.
Yeah, I think Jordan Davis didn't he have some issues too? Didn't he have being
not
late
off the field stuff?
Well, they had
but
alarm stuff and all that. Remember that? I think there was some of that stuff there too. So
what about okay? All right. So I think the defensive line's the same. It's the same. Jonathan Grenard might be an upgrade over Jalen Phillips, maybe. Who knows? I think Zach Bond takes a step back. I think Zach Bond played more like the Zach Bond who he really is this year versus what he did the year before. And I'm concerned about Zach Bond. Concerned about what's his name, Jihad Campbell. Jihad Campbell got swallowed up by the NFL's game halfway through the season.
I'm not, but he's more number 3 guy in my eyes.
That's a first round draft pick, by the way. Okay.
Yeah, right now, I don't know, but we'll see when it comes. I don't think he's going to be any better, but he could be. I don't think he's going to. I'm sorry, he's not going to be any worse, but he could be better. Is my thought.
Losing what's his name is going to hurt them because when he's on the field, he's a difference maker. What's the kid that left? Jacoby Dean. Losing him's going to hurt because when he was on the field, when he was healthy, he was a difference maker. The problem is you never rely on him being healthy. They made the right move there.
You did hear the Eagles sign Zion Wilson, right? So just relax.
Zion Wilson?
He's the undrafted DT that they got.
Okay. I was thinking about the big center from the Pelicans. But that's not him. That's Zion Williamson, right? Is that Williamson?
Yeah, but hey, he's the next tank right there. Undrafted tackle, No. And, Ty Robinson's another question mark. Will they be able to move forward? Will he take the necessary steps forward?
And will Nolan Smith drive right past the NovaCare complex on his way to the bridge doing 140 miles an hour? That's another issue, too.
Yeah, that's just hopefully he learned from that one. That I'm not going to be able to defend in any which way.
So you're okay. Again, tell me how they're better defensively. I think they're the same. They're the same.
I think the secondary got better.
So 11 wins and a first-round playoff exit is the ceiling based on the reality of what we know about this football team right now.
You saying ceiling? 11, like they're only going to win 11 wins and go to the playoffs?
We know right now about the evidence we have right now. A first-round playoff exit and 11 wins is what this team is right now. That we know.
It's a first-round exit or just a first-round? Wait a minute.
Al, they got bounced in the first round last year by the 49ers, right?
Oh,
and they won 11 wins last year, right?
They're no better than they were going to be last year, is what you're saying.
Right. That's all we can really judge it right now because I don't see enough evidence that puts them anywhere ahead of where they were last year. The Rams have a lot of potential. You can maybe look at them and say they're going to be better. They may not be. And the Eagles may be better. But right now in June, before they put the helmets and the pads on and start cracking skulls at Westchester University, they don't go there anymore. But for training camp, this is what they are, a 11-win team and a poor division and a first-round exit in the playoffs.
And the Seattle Seahawks, who won the Super Bowl,
yes,
aren't guaranteed to go back to the Super Bowl.
Nobody is.
Okay, then that's your answer right there.
Right. But all I'm just saying is it's okay to live in a world of uncertainty right now. Instead of putting,
did I sit there and say it's a certain? I said
you're talking top 3 in the NFC and all this other stuff.
I said they're a top 5 team in the NFC. I said if I had to rank them this moment, I put them around 3. I think they're with the Niners, maybe a tick better.
So you're going to put the team that beat them in the playoffs below them in the top 5 ranking.
Themselves in the playoffs, if you ask me. In that
well,
one.
I don't care what they
Niners
should have
blown us out of the goddamn water.
They should have.
They should have, and they did. There's another game they could have won, and they didn't deserve it. You know it, and I know it. If they won that, we knew they were going to Seattle and was going to get their asses handed to them.
Yeah, no, that would have been. But it was the actual Eagle defense that cost, I think, the Eagles the biggest in that game. I mean, they had no answers for CMC, and they had no answers for Purdy.
And they sputtered out, dude. They were.
Yeah, they were burned. They were tired, man. They were gassed.
Tired.
100% agree.
Because they had to carry this team a lot last year.
Yep, mostly. So this could all be mute. Come Thanksgiving, we're talking about a whatever team, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just saying right now, there's nothing that gets me excited other than what they were last year, which is not a Super Bowl.
All I have to say is in 2024, by week 5, we were ready to drive Sirianni to the airport. We thought, what's his face? The offensive coordinator was a joke. We were ready to blow this thing.
No,
Kellen Moore.
Yeah,
we were ready to blow this thing up, right? So that's what we do makes it fun because it's the question marks, brother. It's the absolute question marks makes this conversation.
Some of us are based in reality. Some are based over here, up here. I don't know where you guys are, but listen, I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna leave you with that. But I'm gonna leave one more thing. Then I want to go. Thank you for having me on, by the way.
No, thank you for coming on. Always a pleasure.
Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts are both playing for their jobs this year. Mark my words on it. All right. You have a good night. Have a good show.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. See this? This is me and you agreeing upon something. I would say Sirianni a little bit more than Jalen, but I'm not disagreeing on either one of them.
I think they're both playing for their future.
I think they are, and I think if Mannion is as good as we think he can be, or better, they know that they can get about 2 years out of him before somebody I don't know, unless he really does something special this year. Before somebody tries to steal him for a head coaching job.
You think 2 years?
If they win the Super Bowl this year, then maybe not 2 years. If they have a really good success and they're lighting up the Drew Brees and the Saints 40 plus points every game type situation, or when Peyton Manning was at the top of his game type situation, then and Jalen Hurts looks like the next Peyton Manning or something, then he's probably going to get a head coaching discussion right away. And I think I would not be surprised sorry, Nick. You're out, brother.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that too. Like if say they won the Super Bowl, Sirianni would get promoted up into management and they would move Mannion into the head coaching job. Because it would look terrible to fire a Super Bowl winning head coach, but they would be so in fear. I honestly believe Howie Roseman, for all his imperfections and whatnot, is dog tired and fed up of having to replace offensive coordinators every year. I really think he's tired of that. And they brought this guy in. A couple of things that made me think this was they let Stoutland go, right? They let this guy bring in his own people. Then they basically handed the draft over to him on the offensive side. They drafted players that fit Mannion's offense. Those things Howie Roseman doesn't do. That's giving up power and control. And Howie did that. That's not for a one-year wonder. He's trying to shape this team around Sean Mannion's concepts. So to me, Nick Sirianni should be shaking in his boots because they're not doing that stuff for Nick anymore. They're not bringing Nick's people here anymore. They're not bringing Nick's players here anymore. No. They're bringing Mannion's guys.
The reason Nick has lasted as long as Nick had, outside of course, a Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowl appearances and a win, is that he's willing, unlike somebody else, Doug Peterson, who said, "No, I'm keeping my guys. I'm running with my guys," and give Howie credit, I guess, again, because it did pay off by doing that. Because a lot of people thought he was nuts for getting rid of Doug Peterson. And I was a little bullish. And then they bring in a guy with Nick Sirianni who nobody knew. And, but he was the ultimate yes man who it's going to make Howie feel like he was correct because that yes man has played out in his favor now. But if the yes man it just doesn't play out any longer and they got the next big thing, then Sean Mannion will be that guy. I mean, I'll give Sean Mannion this. He does a lot better interview already than he does. He talks X's and O's and things that when he says things make sense to me. Again,
we're not hearing about invisible progress from Sean Mannion.
Yeah, listen, I always told people, I said, if you judge a coach based on their coachinisms or their dad joke, almost like coachinisms, then there's a lot of good coaches out there that wouldn't have a job. But there's the other stuff that adds up with. And listen, Sirianni has annoyed everybody, even the biggest Sirianni lover. And I mean, talking his mother, has to probably all right, Nick, enough. We've had enough. Just shut up, brother. We get it.
Shut your mouth.
Success is all. Success is all. Rob, great show, yes, but we're not done because right now.
Yes, I'm going to go. So listen, have a great one. Go Phillies. Yeah, I will. Thanks, man. Sunday, right? You're back?
Sunday, I'm back. Sunday morning.
Yeah, all right. Making sure. All right, see ya.
All right, brother. All right, guys, you know what that means. I got to switch over the graphics because here we go. Everybody, and I'm bringing the energy again. Yes, because I was just we never left because we didn't leave. And here we are. The Phillies won 8-6 to start the Friday off. Great. Jesus Luzardo, the greatest pitching performance from him, did okay. But it's the Bats that won the game tonight. Yes, you guys heard that correctly. The Bats won the game tonight. Stop the presses. 2 games in a row, more than 4 runs, and the offense carried this game. That's all right, Rob. I understand, buddy. Take it easy, brother. But yes, the offense won the game tonight. that one settle in for a second. Let it settle in for a moment. The offense won the game tonight. We had 4 singles from Kyle Schwarber. He was 4 for 5 tonight with 2 runs scored and a strikeout. 4 singles from our leadoff guy, Kyle Schwarber. And that was exciting. Adolis was 2 for 4 tonight with his 6th home run of the year, 2 runs scored and an RBI, of course. Home run. Alec Boehm, who, trust me, still not biting a ton of favor with me. 2 for 4 tonight with a double, 2 RBIs, and a walk. The Phillies, is it June? Is that calendar turning? Is it the magical June, the summer night? The ball was carrying out of here big time tonight. It was very helpful for a lot of teams, but Garcia's seen the ball better. Now, is this a small sample size? Again, against the Padres, they seem to have they were more offensively woesome than the Phillies were, which is saying a lot. But the Phillies, and you know, we had a big hit, big home run from Adolis to win that, and then tonight, and the same kind of, he has this like magic bat flip where he hits the ball, he knows it's going out, and he just throws his hands off to the side, and the bat flips off. It's kind of amazing, to be honest with you. Just shows you how strong his hands are. But are they turning a corner? Could they be? I don't want to put it on there yet, but you know, this June weather, this June magic, whatever it is, just seems to work well. If Adolis Garcia hitting 2 tonight, one with a bomb. What's his face? Brandon Marsh still doing Brandon Marsh style stuff. Didn't think you ever say those words. Should I ask Maddie when he was on earlier? Who won the Ohapi Brandon Marsh trade yet? Find out. Think we know. He won't say it out loud. But 8-6 victory. Phillies win it. That's 4 straight wins for them right now. After dropping the series to the Dodgers. Hopefully this team is making the turn. And I like what I'm seeing. And you should be excited watching this game. I like Kevin Long's reaction to Adolis' home run. Showed me he gives a crap. Yeah, dude. He came up and slapped the 5 because you know what? They were talking about when he got back from LA that before, when they had the day off, he was out there taking BP. And when they got out there early, the game on Tuesday, and took more BP. And he's working on it. Like, I don't think he doesn't give a crap. It's just sometimes they don't got it, right? And sometimes it takes time to click. Trey Turner, he's over 4 tonight, but got 2 runs scored. He got on base. Still, the bat's killing me a little bit with him. Can be better. Needs to be better. Bryce Hart. All right, let's go through this right now. Schwarber, 4 for 5 tonight with 4 singles, 2 runs scored and a strikeout. Turner was 0 for 2 tonight with 2 runs scored, an RBI, and a walk. 2 for 3 tonight for Harp. One walk. Boehm 2 for 4 tonight with 2 RBIs and a strikeout. Sosa was 0 for 3 tonight with an RBI. Remuta was 0 for 2 tonight with a 1 run scored and 2 walks. Marsh was 1 for 4 tonight with 1 run scored and 2 RBIs. That was off that home run. We'll go over that a little bit. With 2 strikeouts. Garcia was 2 for 4 tonight with 2 runs scored, a 1 RBI. No strikeouts, which is a big difference there. That number, actually, that 0 in that spot is one of the bigger ones for me. Baroa, however you say his name, 0 for 3 tonight with 3 strikeouts. I think he's not long for the majors at this point. Stott came in. He was 0 for 1 tonight. In 33 at-bats, 8 runs, 11 hits. That's another double-digit hit game in a row, too, by the way. Let's add that into the get excited about column. 11 hits, 7 RBIs. The 1 RBI, of course, was the wild pitch by former Phillies pitcher Sir Anthony Dominguez. He does not pitch well against the Phillies. 4 walks and 7 strikeouts. So that's 7 strikeouts. Not great, but not terrible, especially with the Phillies. A lot of that came from, 5 of that came from Marsh and Baroa. So, that's a plus. But also the walks. The walks is another good number. I mean, they're taking the pitches or doing things. And they went against a guy who's really deadly against left-handed pitching in K, who only went 4 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and 2 home runs allowed. He really does well against the left-handed pitching or batting. And they also had to use a lot of their what's it called tonight? Their bullpen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other batters. So that's huge. We only had to use 3. So that's a big difference there. Luzardo, not the greatest night for him, but the offense bailed him out, and that's what we need to see. 6 innings pitched, 7 hits allowed, 5 runs, all of them earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, but the 3 home runs. That was the killer. That was the killer. He let them start off with the 2 runs, but then got them back by tying the game up with Brandon Marsh. We'll get over that in a little bit. Bolin was 1 inning pitch, 2 hits, 1 run allowed, 2 strikeouts. Cardiac Keller was good tonight. 1 hit allowed, but only that was it in 1 inning. Duran just is pitching well. Just he looks locked in. Like I can't say much about him but that. I mean, to be honest with you. And it's good to see. It's really good to see. I mean, man wants to get paid, I guess. Somebody said that earlier, and I agree with that. 9 innings pitched, 10 hits allowed for the Phillies pitching tonight. 6 runs allowed, but 5 of them earned. 2 walks, which isn't bad, all from Luzardo, believe it or not. 6 strikeouts and 3 home runs. The long ball didn't hurt them. Could have, but the offense bailed them out. Again, kind of the story of the game tonight. In total pitches allowed, total innings, only in 8 innings, the White Sox allowed 11 hits, 8 runs, all of them earned, 4 walks, and 7 strikeouts and 2 home runs. So that, in my eyes, looks good. But White Sox have a good team, man. Really good defense, especially in the outfield. Let's look at the scoring tonight. Let's kind of walk through the scoring. Like I said, the White Sox started off with a double for to make it 1-0 in the top of the second. Then Tristan Peters singles, and then that makes it a 2-0 game. But at the bottom of the second, Brandon Marsh said, "Hold my beer. I ain't done. We're not going to go with this 2-0 game with a 2-run jack." But just didn't look like it was going to be a home run. But hit that first row. Just again, it was that thin warm air tonight. Let the ball carry out tonight. Tying the game up 2-2. And Trey Turner reaches on a fielder's choice, which allowed Kyle Schwarber to make an amazing big man slide. He had some wheels on him tonight. Him and Adolis. Adolis got one in under the tag too. Both of those tags weren't even close. So when they looked on the screen when it was live, it looked a lot closer. But when you go back and see it, they didn't even touch him, come close to touching him. That made the game 3-2. Well, they weren't done yet. Alec Boehm, heard that correctly, doubles. And that scored Trey Turner and Kyle Schwarber and Trey Turner. That was the big, it was a big one for him. Got this at 5-2. Top of the third, Ronald Gruchek homers for the first time of the night, making it 5-3. Still Phillies up 2 runs. But Adolis Garcia, the new and improved Adolis Garcia, homers, 6 homer on the season, right to right field, making it 6-3. I mean, it was a no-brainer kind of hit. But Randall Gruchek wasn't done because he wanted 2 for the night, and he got 2. Top of the 5th, made it 6-4. Derek Hill homers and made it 6-5. Game's getting close, but holes are clenching. Bottom of the 7th, Colson Montgomery singles. Chase Meredith scores. It's 6-6. But holes are truly puckered at this point. You can cut spaghetti with it. Mundo Sosa Sacrifice fly. Scores Kyle Schwarber. It is amazing. That was the amazing run I was telling you about. Watching him with some wheels. 7-6. Phillies back up. Bottom of the 7th, right? Then that would be really all the real scoring, because other than the wild pitch when the bases are loaded. Because, again, the bases were loaded. And I think, Rob, if you're still in here, I'll give you credit for this. I think you said it. I don't know who said it. For somebody said it. But, yeah, maybe Adolis did it listening to the hitting coach. The wild pitch from Sir Anthony. Trace Turner scored. But that was all that came out of it. But 8-6 would be your final on the evening. Phillies win it. And somebody said it earlier, too, in an exciting win tonight. I believe, I forget who said it. I don't know if they're still in here or not, but somebody said it was a fun win tonight. It was offensive heavy, that's right. It wasn't a pitcher's duel. Sometimes pitcher's duels on Friday nights, warm Friday nights, you're sitting outside, maybe watching it outside. I barbecued tonight. I'm off on Fridays during the summertime, so it allows me to do something fun culinarily with the family. So the wife wanted seafood, so I got the griddle going. Made some shrimp, scallops, salmon, little tuna steak. And of course, burgers and dogs for the boys, because, man, they ain't going to eat that. So, it was that kind of night. Pitcher's duel could make you a little tired watching that game, right? Make you a little tired. This kind of game is exciting. Kept the heart rate up. You know what I mean? But with that being said, let's do it. I've changed I know the post-game shows are a little different from each one. We do all the same stuff, but I like to do the around the bases first, just to kind of cover that, because it's, later in the season, I might go back to the other traditional way. And my reasoning for that is because that's where standings are important. I know the Phillies are technically in the wild card spot right now, but it's June 5th. That means nothing. But I like to do this right now because I want to talk a little bit more Phillies information with you guys right now. So let's do that. All right, gentlemen, ladies, everybody in between, how are we doing? Let's look at it right now. That's right. This is Around the Bases with your Fightins final. We're going to look around tonight's games in the league and the MLB and see where everybody lands. And it's brought to you by the great people here at the It's a Wrap Sports Network. That's right. Here is your White Sox lineup. You got me tonight. You got Mikey tomorrow. You got Matty B on Sunday for Down on the Farm, of course. That is always a must-see moment on the Fightins final. The next week, you got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Mike, me, Mike. You got the Big Al sandwich right there. Oh, it's kind of weird. I'm going to stop that. We're going to stop that. Don't clip that out. But whatever. You got us back. It's got a lot more going. You got the Toronto Blue Jays. It's going to be a tough one. No easy games coming up. But it's brought to you by that and all the great programming here. Of course, tomorrow, Phillies White Sox postgame, and then Sunday, Philly AM Sports with me and Mike. And then, of course, the White Sox postgame and the final word with Matty B. But right now, mid-7th, Athletics are down 5-1. I'm sorry, down 5-1 to the Houston Astros. Middle 7th, your Apple TV game. So if you have Apple TV, you want to go watch a little more baseball, Texas and Cleveland are playing right now. Texas up 3-2 in the mid-7th. St. Louis is up 4-3 in the mid-6th over Cincinnati in Cardinal Town. Colorado is up 3-1 over to Milwaukee, bottom of the 5th in the great Rocky Mountains. Mid-3rd, your other Apple TV game, KC versus Minnesota. Not much watch TV there, but hey, if you want to watch it and you love baseball and you're a junkie like me, you might go watch it. You never know. Your other Apple TV game, the KC Royals are down 2-0 to Minnesota. Don't you know? Top of the 3rd right now, the Mets are up 1-0 over San Diego in San Diego. They're still struggling, huh? Came out like gangbusters and then cool off. I guess it's better to come out crap and then get hot later than the other way around. Washington is up 2-0 over Arizona out in the desert right now. Top of the 1st, both LA versus LA, Subway Series, whatever you want to call it. Angels, Dodgers, 0-0, top of the 1st. And final on the night, Final on the night. You're going to listen to the score. Listen real closely because you're not going to believe this score. It's probably going to be the highest scoring single game. Well, maybe not the highest scoring game, but the highest single score by a team to date, I'd imagine, in the MLB. San Fran is out in Chi-Town, or played the Chicago Cubbies today. If you're a Cubs fan, you went to that game, you were not happy. Maybe you took Friday off to go to a Cubbies game and you watched an 18-3 bludgeoning of your Cubbies by the 26-38 Giants. You're probably not happy. Cubbies are kind of coming down. They were hot for a while, especially when we saw them early on. We got them. They got us early. They got their licks in with us early when we were a bad team. They're 33-31. They're just a couple games over 500 right now. Detroit beat Seattle 7-3. As you know, the Phillies beat the White Sox 8-6. The Yankees lost to the Bo Sox 5-3 in New York. Another bludgeoning. Baltimore bludgeoned Toronto 13-3. In Canada. Tampa Bay beat Miami Marlins. The fight for Florida, 6-0. And Atlanta won again tonight, 6-3 over Pittsburgh. Atlanta is 43-21. They're just rolling. We got to not worry about that in the standings. You got to just worry about winning against everybody else. We don't see the Braves again. Braves got lucky with us too this year. I mean, not lucky in a sense. They're playing really good baseball. Don't get me wrong, but they got us when we were really down, and they don't get us again until September. So they got us good early so they could bludgeon us, and they did. Hopefully it'll be different the next time we see them because it's going to be because you got, I think, 7 games with them. It's a series in between, and another series. So it's a home-away series, but with a series in between, something like that. So that's going to come down to it, man. Who's the script writers on this one? I feel bad for Toronto fans. Their team is on such a year-to-year basis. Yeah, they are. I think Toronto's a lot better team than their record shows, but under four games under 500. I mean, we know what that's like not that long ago, right there, Elephant? But that is your trip around the bases. We'll take a quick look at the standings. I will. We will take a quick look at the standings right now. I do it just for that reason, just so you guys can get an idea of where we're at. But again, don't read too much into it. So right now, your division leaders are the Braves. They're running right now the best team in baseball, 43-21. Just 22 games over 500. Hard to catch that. Dodgers are right behind them at 40-23. Milwaukee is 37-23, all prospective leaders of their divisions. Right now in the wild card, the Phillies are the top seed in the wild card right now at 34-29, with the Cardinals at 32-28, and Arizona Diamondbacks at 33-29. Looking in right now are the Pirates, the Padres, and the Cubbies. And starting to fall further behind are teams that we lost to. Reds, the Nationals, the Miami Marlins, not the Mets. Haven't seen them yet. Coming up soon. San Francisco Giants and the Rockies, all the way at the rock bottom. So that's a tough team to be a fan of. Sorry. Really sorry. But just looking at the Mets, it's got to be a lot worse. They got, worse payroll than we do. Got to be rough. But 4-game winning streak for the Phillies is huge. Best, right now, currently the best winning streak in the National League right now. And if you really want to know, Tampa, Cleveland, and Seattle, all prospective NL leaders for their divisions. And then the Yankees at the top of the wild card, White Sox second wild card right now, and Baltimore third wild card with the Athletics peering in. That's Matt. That was Mike Laro's team to keep an eye on. I mean, Baltimore's actually under 500 in there. That's just goes to show you right now that the American League kind of a big drop off at one point. But that is it. I'm not going to go much further than laughing about it. True, got to be hell to be a Rockies, and it's absolutely. It's funny because I think back, was it 2007 when the Phillies got to the playoffs with Chase Utley and Hein Howard and all them, and got excited, and of course led to 2008 and that nice run following it. Rockies were the team that beat us, but after that, I mean, the Rockies haven't been good since, man. Really, I'm just trying to think, were the Rockies ever much in the playoffs after that? Yeah, it's got to be tough, bro. Got to be real tough. But let's take a trip on the old Broad Street bottom line. Broad Street bottom line is the offensive production has to continue. We've said it, they have to be better. They are being better, and we see how well this team looks. They look like a team that can win. I don't know about a World Series, but they can win. You know, if they didn't have that big 9-19 struggly start, this team could be a lot closer to the Braves. And actually, hold on, I'm going to see something real quick. We are, how many games behind them? We're 8.5 games behind them. I mean, it's kind of crazy considering how good they've been playing. I would have thought it was more. A little testament there, but other than that, I'm not getting ahead of myself. Honestly, I don't want to see them catch them. I want to see them have to play a wild card games and all that stuff and be in Philly and ignite the fire. That you need to remember that it's not a God-given. It's a God. You know, it's not going to be a given that they're going to be there. The Rockies had a 2-year span during Charlie Blackmon's younger days. That dude was a problem when he was younger. Yeah, absolutely. And that was that time frame. You're absolutely right. I love Charlie Blackmon, Joe. God, I loved him. I thought he would have been great in Phillies pinstripes. But the Phillies are 34-29 right now. Gotta love it. You know, a couple more wins if they can really win this series here. Put some, you know, establishes them like you're not playing on that 500 line. You're not like dancing back and forth before, above and below 500 like they were when they first got there. If you can win a couple more series in a row, that could be huge for them. Really could be huge. But it's the offense. The offense now. Your pitching's there. We know the pitching's there. Bullpen can be better, but they got a bona fide closer, which is huge. I think you're seeing some improvement from Keller. Bolin can get some improvement. Other than that, it's like some guys that they brought in just, you know, who were supposed to be great. Not so much. So, you know, are they going to be looking for relief pitching at the deadline as much as they're going to be looking for a right-handed bat? Listen, Alec Boehm had a good game tonight. I'm still not loving him, especially in the frickin' 4-hole. Don't get me started on that. But again, tonight makes me look wrong. But that's just tonight. But look what happens when some of the offense guys. Schwarber's hitting, yes. Turner, not so much. Harper, yes. Boehm, not so much. Sosa, not so much. Stott, not so much. Realmuto, not so much. Marsh, very much so. Garcia, a lot better lately. But just see one more guy like Garcia, adding one more guy who can hit better makes a world of a difference. Duran, Lidge, or Papelbon. Like, if I had to take one right now, boy. I mean, Lidge had one good year. I mean, he had some good other stuff, but like really one good fabulous year. That 40, not, you know. Duran's got some magic. Papelbon's just a knucklehead. He was also streaky too. There's times he got lit up. So I definitely not Papelbon, Duran, Lidge. I'll say Duran. I don't know if it's just this recency bias a little bit, but if I remember correctly, like Lidge was okay. Every week he came here from Houston, and he wasn't great in Houston. Had a great year in 2008, and then decent, good in 2009, and then kind of start to fall from there. So depends on where it goes from there. I mean, Lidge has a World Series, so that's going to put you above there a little bit. I like Marsh in the 4 spot. I don't. That's where a power hitter is. I don't want Marsh to become a power hitter because he's in the 4 spot. But then again, if he's just going to keep hitting consistently, He'll still score runs. So who am I to complain? But the offense has to keep getting better. If Trey Turner can just start hitting better, it's not to be Trey Turner last year, but better. Adolis keeps getting better. Marsh keeps hitting like he is. Bohm isn't such a. Bohm's moving down. He's going to be Stott, kind of hot and cold. Get rid of Baroa. Bring somebody else up here. Anybody else? Oh, and by the way, so I want to talk about Ada Miller real quick. So Ada Miller had a procedure. It's not a surgery. It's a procedure. And I'd be willing to talk about how the procedure works if anybody really wants to know. Because the reason I say this is because it's what I do for a living. He had a radio frequency ablation, okay? So it's a spinal procedure that ablates the pain nerves, okay? Simple fact is there is branch nerves in your lumbar spine that come off your facet joints or your medial branch nerves, and they use a needle with a probe in it where the tip warms up using radio waves and ablates the pain fibers. So if you imagine my arm is the nerve and the hairs on my arm are the fibers, you're kind of getting rid of that. That's what I do for a living. Just for those who know, I'm medical. In a balanced lineup, Marsh would be a great two-hole guy. Yeah, I think so. I really think so. Turner, Marsh, Harbor, Schwarber, I take that. He's got speed. He can hit the ball. I'm not hating that. Is it possible to bounce back fully from that kind of procedure? So typically, it is not a permanent procedure. Let me answer your question first. Yes. A lot of people get a lot of good pain relief with this procedure. Okay. Usually it's a prelude after at least one other or two other injections, basically diagnostic injections, where they either do just a numbing agent into that area and see if it calms it down temporarily, of course, because the numbing agent will wear off, and then they will do an RF. Sometimes they'll do it with the numbing agent and a steroid facet injection or medial branch block. Medial branch injection, because it's not a block with the steroid, it's not just a block. And if they get relief with it, but temporarily or just not as much as they were hoping to get with it, then you can do what's called radio frequency ablation. So I'm guessing that they were able to do those other procedures, at least one, got some relief temporarily, and it was enough to block it. And then if that can block it, typically radio frequency ablations anywhere from 6 to 12 months to upwards of 18 to 24 months, but usually at 12 months is kind of the sweet spot there. Like the arm hairs scenario, they can grow back. But sometimes, especially in younger people, it can grow back. Not as bad, not as chronically firing. So there is some possibility of that, but typically it's not what it's done for. Noom's chiming in. He always knows what I'm talking about. If they're able to isolate the pain to anatomical abnormality, then they should be able to be okay. Yes. He said it in a much more precise scientific manner than I did. But yes, the answer is yes. If they're able to isolate it. There are some people that I know who get this procedure done every few years, every year, every 2 years, 3 years, based on how often they need it. And it keeps them pain-free or minimal. I do worry about it being a thing that people have to do a lot more into the future as a long-term problem. But if he can get back, and then maybe his pain was bad, that he can let him start working out, strengthening areas, and then start getting back to the swing of things, his body mechanics can kind of shut that pain security system down and let him move forward. But yes, pretty much what Noom said. I was just kind of using a lot more layman's terms. Noom said, "Come here and make me look at smart." So Noom's is smarter than me. That's besides the fact. So, but my point to this is, you're looking about I mean, it could take upwards of 2 weeks for you to get like really the full results. And then they're gonna probably have to start working them out a little bit before they get into full baseball mode, before he starts really swinging a bat for real against live pitching. And then he's also being able to play the field too. Don't forget that's also other baseball activities, grounding ball, fielding balls and playing defense and all that, sliding, all that stuff plays a factor. So you're probably looking at 6 weeks or so before you can start really resuming regular baseball. I'm saying bare minimum 6 weeks, probably right there is bare minimum. Could be close to 8 weeks. So if he had it done, say earlier this week, you're looking end of July, beginning of August. So he's not coming up here this year. No Ada Miller coming, guys. Again, I'm kind of tail end of this cold thing. How often do I see this in guys in their early 20s? Well, not often. Usually it's from injuries. Okay. It's not a typically for people with chronic injury, disc problems, things like that. These are medial branches. So things off to the side, built up that hit the branches. Think of the spine like a major highway, right? Runs from the brain, and it, like a highway, has off ramps, and that's the off ramp. That's the best way of explaining it. So not often, but usually it means it's axial, meaning the pain's like just in his back. And I don't know if they did anything else. Like, is there a disc abnormality where they had to do epidurals and they failed? I don't know. Maybe, the MRI wasn't that bad or wasn't that great, but not that bad enough where they're going to say we have to do surgery. And they think that, rehab can do better, but can do what he needs, but he just can't rehab because the pain's so bad. So there's a couple options also why you may want to look at that. Any other questions, guys? Because other than that, I'm going to go for the night. It's 10:30. Been on here for 2 hours and almost 15 minutes, but I'm actually having fun. I want to talk to you. If you want to keep the conversation going, I will keep the conversation going. But for those who are just joining us, this is your Fighting's final. Phillies winning tonight 8-6 against the White Sox. Hopefully they can continue, take this series down. Would love to be 35-30 or 36-29 by the end of the weekend going into it. Yes. There's again, without the MRI Nooms, this, I know this. It's difficult. It's stenosis. For those, it's a change in the curvature of the spine and how things line up and all that. And it's, that's not an easy fix. Usually it's multi-leveled, So again, he's young. If it was a quick cleanup surgery, they probably would have done it. Like if there's like a disc, a little something hanging out, a little something protruding out, or hitting a nerve, like, all right, we see it, we can get to it, we can do it, we can clean it out. He can heal up in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and be back to working out, and by September, playing baseball again. They would have done it. So let's hope. Without MRI, we don't know, right, Nooms? Great show. Elephant, as always, it's a pleasure talking with you. Guys, it's always a pleasure talking with you. I think I owe an apology. I saw it after the fact. Ricky, I know you popped in. You popped in right when I was going live. I couldn't take any more calls at the point. I apologize. I'll get you next Friday. Have a great weekend. I haven't told Matty B, but this Friday, it'll be a Friday where I'm not going to be on. The 24th, 5th, 6th, something like that. I'll be away. But other than that, guys, I'll be seeing you next time. I'll see you back on Sunday. I had to think about it. Sunday, and then I'm back on Tuesday after that. So I'll see you guys next time. Other than that, guys, have a great evening. Go Phillies. Have a great night.